What is going on, guys? Andrew Estivator here, back with episode number 2, first on my channel of Meadowland Madness. I'm here with my awesome co-host, Elias from Big Apple Banter Media. See, I got it right.
Yep. Yes.
Got it right all the time.
Unlike Tony.
Unlike Tony. Elias, what's going on, my guy?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to talk. I got my green on. Happy to talk some Jets. There's someone coincidentally named Elias Solomon in the chat who said the Jets had a better offseason, no doubt. I'm starting to agree with them. Let's talk about some offseasons. Let's talk about some training camp. Let's just talk some ball, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, training camp. I know for the Giants open up today. I believe the Jets as well. Some teams open up tomorrow, so it's a little weird that everybody doesn't open up on the same day.
Started before, but
some started before as well.
Similar time. Yep.
So, injuries, pub list, guys, are the big thing. COVID list, that is also the big thing going around in the NFL. And the Jets, who have the Jets already lost? Not even one day in on either the COVID list or put on the pub list.
All right, so pup list. We'll start with that. Quinn Williams, our best player on our team, if not that best player on our defense, in my opinion. Just phenomenal interior defensive lineman. He had foot surgery over the offseason. It was expected he might miss a week of camp. He's going to be all right, though. This isn't, a bad injury necessarily. He got the surgery already. He's already close to being recovered. It's just being, he's walking. It's safety precaution. Jonathan Marshall, defensive lineman we drafted. I'm not sure with these injuries. Same thing with Kyle Phillips. I'm not too sure with him. Ashton Davis had a knee injury last season that kept him out the year, and so he's starting this year on the pup list as well. Safety, you want to see him getting, healthy. And then the non-football injury, Vinny Curry, our edge rusher, nose tackle Foley Fadukasi, and safety Marcus May, who, in other Jets news, wasn't able to get to a contract extension, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we got a little Jets breaking news, but I don't know how big this is. The Jets have signed free agent defensive end Jeremiah Valagaga. He played with the I totally butchered that name, but he has played with the Niners under Robert Saleh. Opt out before the 2021 season.
Well, I know a lot about this guy, man. I have folders of film on him. I could tell you a lot about this guy. Now, the first thing I need to say is that I don't actually know his name because I never fucking heard of the guy. But probably not going to make the team. Jeremiah, whatever his name. But you said what, a defensive end?
Defensive end, yeah.
It's a Robert Saleh guy. They're going to bring in for some competition. He's probably more of a veteran player, so he's probably not like a practice squad player. But you're going to see these no names getting brought in here to compete for camp. So there's not much analysis to do here. Despite my folders of film on him, I'm just kidding. No, never heard of the guy.
Yeah,
fake fan.
Fake NFL fan. I just saw it. What's it called?
Fan.
Fake 49er. I just saw what's it called, and a bunch of Mets have been optioned. And we'll get to that's not football. That's not a football show. So the Giants pub list, obviously Saquon Barkley coming off the torn ACL, he is still on the pub list. Surprisingly, offensive tackle Matt Pert with a back injury has been put on the pub list. That was surprising.
Can I say one thing real quick? For you guys who don't know what the pup list, physically unable to perform, it's basically like a preseason IR in a way. It's kind of like when you come into camp, you get put on that. It's not like, the worst thing in the world. It's not like, it doesn't mean like, oh, you're out for the year. It's usually, when guys come in with, some injuries and aren't ready to go for camp, you're on the pup list. Physically unable to perform.
And speaking of, Marcus May, oh my lord, what is with these weird Jets names? Jonathan Marshall and Foley
Fadukasi.
Yeah, has all passed their physicals with the Jets, clearing them to be activated for practice.
There we go. That was on I mentioned those three guys on here. Oh, Jonathan Marshall, you said? Is that
Jonathan Marshall as well?
Yeah, he was on the pup list. So the other guys were on non-football injuries. So non-football injuries only now Vinny Curry, and he's an older player. So it might be, taking some reps off and whatnot, putting him on there.
Ralph Vecchiano just doesn't like our show. Kyle Rudolph has coming off the ankle surgery he had in the offseason. He's on the pub list. And O'Shane and Zimenez, which is the guy the Giants have a lot of potential. Now he's a potential roster cut, former third-round pick edge rusher. He is again on the pub list as well as third-round pick Aaron Robinson, who could be fighting for the slot corner job for the Giants. Kadarius Toney was activated from the COVID list. Now he is active and ready to practice.
Yeah. COVID list, Jets, George Fant was just put on the COVID list.
And for the Giants, obviously early show legend Blake Martinez was just put on the COVID list. Sadly, we won't be able to see him in coverage for at least a couple weeks of practice. That sucks.
his tackle totals might go down a bit. He's not going to be able to push guys out of balance and pad his stats.
It's just terrible.
It's tragic, but he should be, it's they'll be back soon. No doubt about it. So
100%.
training camp, you want to see, as few guys on the PUP list, guys coming in healthy. It sucks. You see players getting hurt during training camp all the time. Last year, Derwin James on Hard Knocks, you saw him get a bad injury.
Yep.
It's tough to watch, man. Good player that good. He missed a year. So training camp, really the goal is get as good as you can without getting hurt. And injuries are going to happen. It sucks that we're going to have to cover it. Literally every press conference you watch from NFL coaches, it starts with the injuries. All right, I got to say one thing. We got Seahawks Jose Rodriguez. So 2 days ago, a year and 2 days ago, the Jets traded an outside linebacker, but he's listed as a safety by the name of Jamal Adams, who to Seattle. We got an absolute haul for him, absolutely fleeced the Seahawks, and he's holding out, man. He's not happy with his contract. He wants a lot of money because he gets a bunch of sacks. It's 2 career interceptions, both off of backup quarterbacks. He can't cover anyone, but he's a linebacker listed at safety. And he wants a new contract. So, it's a shame he won't be on the field for, the Seattle Seahawks this camp. Maybe they get it done. Maybe you cave in and give him the money he wants. But I think he's just trying to get out there and go to Dallas because that's clearly where he wants to be.
Oh boy, can't wait for Daniel Jones to be
It's a shame, man. It's a shame, man.
Them 2 first-round picks Seattle could use right now. Just saying.
Oh,
imagine giving Russell Wilson Elijah Vera Tucker right now.
Exactly.
I think he kind of needs.
Exactly.
Protect him a little bit. So obviously the Jets have made a few moves. Elias, what do you got on those new Jets moves?
Okay, so it's not really signings. It's more of just kind of news related to us. So our slot corner from last year, Brian Poole, signs with the Saints. Not surprised about not re-signing him. I was a huge fan of him. He's a super versatile player. He can play safety as well. Really versatile defensive back. But our defensive coordinator was with Brian Poole when he was in Atlanta. It's not really a fit. They decided let's move on, and we got some young guys like that we'll get to in a bit to play that slot corner position. Also in this defense, they play a lot of base with not nickel. So is it worth giving a slot corner a ton of money when he's not going to be on the field too much? Man, every time we talk football, people ask us to talk baseball, and then we talk baseball, people ask us to talk football. So
never can make everybody happy.
We got plenty of baseball content. You can come to my channel tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. Shameless plug. If you guys, when you get the baseball content there, you get the best of both worlds, and you get hockey on here too. I don't know much about that, but subscribe to Andrew.
More coming soon. Yeah.
More coming soon. And then other news: Steven Nelson signs with the Eagles. He was a signing target for the Jets. I'm not know how I feel about this because I'm happy to see that the young guys are going to get the time, but also he signed for $2 million, and you need some sort of veteran leadership in the group. I mean, me, bless Austin. If I have to watch him play, I need to make like a compilation every time I mention him. We'll play like a video and just have like the circus music, like him missing tackles, blowing coverage, shit like that. I got to do something
100%.
like that. So Steven Nelson goes to the Eagles for a super cheap contract. So the Jets are going young at corner. Other news: Marcus May was not able to work out a long-term extension with the Jets. I think I'm okay with this. The dude's 28 and he's a defensive back, so giving him a super long-term deal is pretty irresponsible. Jet fans love him, but in the grand scheme of other safeties, I don't even know if he's a top 10 safety. He's a solid cover-free safety, but he's not really an elite playmaker. He doesn't fly down the field making big hits and whatnot. Not elite in run support. He has games where he might play a bit at the line, but he had one really good game with 2 sacks against Buffalo. But outside of that was kind of a fluke game. I'm not mad about this. A lot of people are talking about how will the locker room feel about your player still my guy not holding out. Like, what was I saying? A lot of people think, how is the locker room going to feel that this guy who deserves to be paid, doesn't get paid? I always think that this contracts are a business move, not a present, not like I like you, here you go. I care what's best for the Jets, and you can tag him again next year and then let him walk because I don't think he has that much more time with the Jets. Giving him a long-term deal. He was a older player coming out of college, so I like Marcus May, but yeah. And then the tough news is Zach Wilson is yet to sign his rookie contract, so he's not at camp yet. There's now, with Rashawn Slater signing his rookie deal with the Chargers, there's 2 first-round players left not signed, both quarterbacks, Zach Wilson and Trey Lance. At first I was like, why are they, it's the same, it's the same contract every year based on the slot. Well, there's all sorts of offset language. And I don't blame this on Zach Wilson. The Jets, even before the Douglas regime, have had issues. Sam Darnold was, missed a few days of camp. Quinn Williams, Mekhi Becton was good last year. But, it's some of the offset language, whether they want to move on for them anytime soon, sooner than they would hope, with the guarantees and whatnot. I'm hoping Zach Wilson can get signed soon for the sake of, I know some guys who are going to Jets camp, and they do not want to watch James Morgan and Mike White play, at the open practice. So hopefully we get this deal signed soon. I'll guarantee you it'll be done by at least Thursday or something.
Yeah, I mean, it has to. Well, what the money is, so I don't know what the big deal is.
It's
what
the offset language. Yep.
Yeah. So
the details and whatnot.
So that's what we got coming out of training camp. That's about it.
Any Giant news?
Not really. Nothing really besides, Blake Martinez just got put on. As far as injury news, pretty much. Kadarius Toney's has had a rough start at his camp. Obviously got put on the COVID list. Just got cleared today. Kenny Golladay and Daniel Jones look like they're having some fun together. So that's always good. You got to get that chemistry going between those two guys. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet from the Giants. And Joe Judge actually did a podcast, I believe, with who's the Rams, Sean McVay, and who's the guy from
Peter Schrager.
Peter Schrager. Joe Judge doesn't tell you anything, but that was the first podcast where you actually got some answers that you actually wanted out of Joe Judge. That's a good listen.
Of the podcast.
Yeah, that's a great
episode with Kyle Shanahan, and he talked about them trying to get Matt Stafford, just like the Rams did. So it's an interesting listen. It's a good show, no doubt. I need to listen to Joe Judge one though.
Yeah, that's about it. Besides that, the Giants have been pretty quiet. Besides, the injuries and COVID list, Giants are just kind of under Joe Judge. It seems always to just be like, hey, stuff gets done, go to work, get your work in, get out of here.
Yep.
Now, since we've got our teams out of the way, there's been some moves outside of New York.
I know this isn't just this is Meadowland madness, but we're going to talk all NFL too. If you guys listened to Big Out Baseball Banter a while ago when I had a co-host, we also talked about baseball in general. So we're going to do that here. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's not just Jets and Giants because it gets boring a little bit. We'll talk because every move I feel like affects our teams in some way. We might be playing that team, they might be in the same division, same conference. If they sign a player we were going out to get, and it's just interesting, So
yeah,
let's talk about it.
Let's talk more NFL, and let's go with the smaller of the bigger. We'll save the Last Dance for a second. Last Dance 2.0. Let's talk a potential Giant trade chip. That is Chandler Jones. Or why I said Chandler Jones so weird. He wants out of Arizona. He has 1 year left on his deal. Wants to get extended, and he's been one of maybe the more underrated pass rushers in the league. Nobody really talks about him. Talk like Vaughn, Khalil Mack. You look at other guys. Nobody really talks about him being an elite pass guy. He gets a lot of sacks. I know you in pressures. I don't know what his pressure numbers are.
No, he's good. He's
one of the more
sack merchant.
Yeah.
And if you're putting sacks year after year, you're clearly doing something right. It's not when you get guys like Trey Hendrickson who are kind of just out of nowhere with a bunch of sacks, let's say if he what do you mean? He doesn't get sacks. He's a pressure QB hit guy.
Having some fun with
if you're gonna roast my team,
I'm having some fun. You got
an intelligent roast, man. But no, Chandler Jones, he's a great player from the Giants' perspective. I'll talk about the Jets' perspective as well. But you say the Giants' perspective on the trade.
So pretty much, the Giants, if you look at their defense, it's one of the better units in the league. The biggest problem is still the biggest hole for the Giants is an elite edge rusher. Yes, they brought in Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia in the second round, hoping for him to be a productive pass rusher. If you were able to find a way to get Chandler Jones, who in Patrick Graham's system, oh my God. And there is a clear way to get him to make the money work. And I brought this up when they signed Kenny Golladay. I don't think Giants fans want to hear this, but you could trade Sterling Shepard for Chandler Jones to make the money work. Obviously, you would have to acquire some draft picks, obviously. Maybe a third-round pick, maybe a fourth. I'm not giving up anything higher. Maybe a second. That's the bare minimum for me. A third and Shepard should work.
Yeah.
Because he has 1 year left. He's a veteran. He's now, I believe, 30. How old is he?
And some people
31.
say, why wouldn't you give him a second round pick? Because how likely is it for a second round player to be Chandler Jones? But at the same time, you're getting 1 year Chandler Jones, and you're getting with a second round pick. There's potentially get a better player, but also you're getting 4 cheap years.
Yeah.
And is Chandler Jones worth a second round pick on a long cheap deal when he's younger? Yeah, but that's not what he's at right now.
No. And you look at last year, he only played 5 years. He's coming off an injury as well. He played 5 games, 1 sack. But you look at his previous 3 years, 19 sacks in 2019, 13 sacks in 2018, 17, led the NFL with 17 sacks. Football Reference doesn't have pressures, so I maybe should do that.
You scroll down a bit.
Yeah, to scroll down a bit. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. But besides the point, he looks like he's always been one of the more underrated pass rushers, and that's what the Giants desperately need, because maybe Azeez Ojulari could potentially develop into a really good pass rusher. If you're able to get a Chandler Jones, it opens up more opportunities for Leonard Williams. It would open up more opportunities for Azeez Ojulari if you had that elite pass rusher. Also, imagine if Patrick Graham had an edge rusher. Now with that secondary, that could change.
You better get one quick, because Patrick Graham is almost out of there quick, man.
Exactly. So if I'm the Giants, I'd call him. Shepard can make the money work. Throw in a couple of draft picks. I'd think about it if I'm the Giants.
Yeah, for the Jets, I'm saying no. He's got 1 more year. He's got, he wants more money, and he's already getting $50 million a year. And he's an older player coming off of an injury as well. He missed most of last year. This team's not at a state where you trade a bunch of capital for an older veteran player. For me, I'm pretty happy where we are at the edge. Would you want, a great number 2? Yeah. Could you make Carl Lawson number? You could be an elite number 2 and you can stud. This is what I want to do. Now, I know I usually don't talk, I don't look at the draft until, draft season, but the Jets have 2 first-round picks, and I think most likely we'll be picking around 13, 12, that kind of area. I think we're going to have around 7, 8 wins. So with that second first-round pick, I need my Jets to package those 2 picks and get me my guy Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. I don't know how familiar you are with this guy. Oh my God. He's some of the best edge band I've ever seen. He's a freaking ridiculous athlete. And a lot of these number 1 edge rushers in these past drafts have all hit. Chase Young, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa,
Brian Burns,
Myles Garrett. Like the first edge rusher off the board every past year has worked out. Let's just look at Chase Young, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nick Bosa, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Bradley Chubb, really good player. He's had some injuries, but he's a very good player. He's made a Pro Bowl. Myles Garrett, maybe, he made the Madden Pro Bowl. Myles Garrett, maybe the best edge rusher in the league. Joey Bosa, both Myles Garrett and Joey Bosa got second contracts. 2015, not so much. It was Dante Fowler Jr., but I don't know how he stacks up against all those other guys. But
he's also a good situational passer.
Yeah, he's a decent player. And same thing with Jadeveon Clowney. He's not like an elite player, but also Khalil Mack was in that class. Aaron Donald was in that class. What I'm saying is a lot of first-round edge rushers rarely bust, especially, as good as Thibodeau is, he's also a safer pick because he's going to be that good. And there's other edge rushers outside of Thibodeau, but man, I need him. He wears the Oregon green. Let's get him in jet green. That's besides the point. We'll get to that after this season. Let's worry about this season. But what I'm trying to say is there's edge rushers in the draft. Don't, trade away capital for 1 year, when we're not competing this year. So no, I would not do it.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in the offseason part where the Jets and Giants are kind of in 2 different, I guess, tiers of teams, where one's developing, trying to get more talent, or one team, they need to make the playoffs or front office is gone.
Right.
So
part of it is because your division stinks. So you can easily make the playoffs, but you have more pressure to make the playoffs. So
hey, me and bad divisions and teams, we don't care. We don't. That's what the rules are. We're in a division. That's it. You play who's in your division.
It's not up to us who's in the division. So that's a good point. What's next on the list of shit?
Now, I guess you want to talk about Mr. Green Bay last dance. Aaron Rodgers officially reported to camp today in a very funny Office shirt. Gotta love Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And looks to be his final year with the Green Bay Packers, as well as potentially Devontae Adams leaving with. What do you think of this whole situation? The stuff they put on Instagram together. just how did the whole holdout situation? What was your kind of view and opinion on the old Green Bay situation?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy it's over because you could not escape this. You know, people are talking about the Broncos. It's like, oh, the Broncos could be good this year because Aaron Rodgers. And then there's the debate: should Aaron Rodgers do this? Should Aaron Rodgers? I never really understood it because you think about, oh well, Deshaun Watson wants out. Deshaun Watson's situation is far worse, and I get it. I don't think Brian Gutekunst is that good of a general manager. He's done some good stuff, though. I get it. The Jordan Love pick, Aaron Rodgers is pissed off, whatnot. I wish, they would have kept it quieter and, negotiated this one last year kind of thing because, Aaron Rodgers, he kind of deserves, like a Tom Brady kind of thing. He's done his best. He hasn't won 6 Super Bowls, but, he's won 1. He's been at least he's done his job. He's more talented. He's done his job better. I think he's the better overall quarterback, not the more successful quarterback. But that's kind of besides the point. You look at the traits, you look at, the production even, he was incredible last year. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL, actually. So it should be really interesting where he signs next offseason. Might be an even bigger deal than the Tom Brady because Aaron Rodgers, I could say, still in his prime. I heard someone say if you knew Aaron Rodgers was going to be available next offseason and another guy we'll talk about, available in trade, would you have still drafted Zach Wilson? Yes, I would have. Aaron Rodgers not coming to the Jets. He's going to be 39 years old. And, I'd rather get that rookie contract. I value the rookie contract so much because then every year you can spend big time in free agency. With Brady, he was on cheap contracts and they were able to make moves. And this past offseason with Cam Newton, he's on a cheaper deal and eventually drafted Mac Jones. They were able to, make some splashes in free agency and extend your own. I'd rather, have my, having your own talent. Like every year on Twitter, there's a whole kind of wave of just a bunch of players getting extended. And the Jets have missed out on that so much. It's like every player, it's like, oh, this guy gets a 4-year extension. This guy, I'm like, man, we can never keep our own. And it's not the Jets don't want to keep their own. It's the Jets don't fucking draft good players. But that's the past regime. None of the guys Joe Douglas has drafted are onto their second contracts yet. I think the only, McCagnon guy who's going to, got a second contract, Marcus May and, probably Quinn Williams eventually.
Yep.
But Marcus May was just a tag. And just on a little side tangent, some of the Jets, like looking at this roster, there's a chance that every player except one could be gone from the 2019 draft class. You got Quinn Williams. He's awesome. Ja'Kai Polite, gone after 1 year for fucking crazy character issues. Chumi Doga, horrendous tackle. Then you got Blake Cashman, injury prone as shit, linebacker. He'll be probably cut too. Trayvon Wesco, he'll probably make it, but in a very limited role as kind of a fullback, H-back. And then Bless Austin, you guys know how I feel about him. Hopefully he gets cut. So we need to draft better. And, that was kind of a side tangent. But with the Aaron Rodgers stuff, I'm just, I'm honestly rooting for the Packers to win the Super Bowl this year. That would be huge. I think, the NFC, the NFC is pretty good this year. We got the Rams, the Bucks. They're going to be, those 3 teams are the big 3, in my opinion, from that division. Maybe throw the 49ers in there. I wouldn't put the Seahawks in there personally. I don't think that defense is really good enough. Any other big teams in the NFC that you can think of?
I mean, again, pretty much everybody pretty much everyone in the NFC West is a good team. Arizona is the weakest team in that division, but the Rams do get Matt Stafford. I think Matt Stafford's a huge upgrade over Jared Goff.
Huge.
So, with those weapons, their defense, they did lose John Johnson. They did lose a corner, I believe, to Cleveland as well.
Troy Hill, slot corner.
Yeah, slot corner, yeah. Slot corner. So, they've lost a few guys, but, getting Matt Stafford, they're already getting a better quarterback. You look at, obviously, the Packers.
Staley, though. Brandon Staley, that's a tough loss.
That was a tough loss. But also, Green Bay did lose Corey Lindsey. So, that's one of their best offensive linemen gone. That's great. Welcome back, Aaron. Now you have a rookie center.
David Bakhtiari is he's hurt. Yep.
Yeah. So, again, Green Bay, I guess. I mean, the Bears, I still don't think the Bears are anything. Justin Fields, we'll get to the rookie quarterbacks in a second. Yep. I didn't think he was anything special coming out, but we'll say that for a little bit later.
Yeah, I'll keep. But I have some very strong opinions about him as well. So I'm excited to go into that.
But yeah, from the NFC again, it's pretty much Brady against the NFC West. I think that's pretty much what you can say for the NFC. It's just Brady versus the West, whoever comes out.
I think Green Bay is still in the mix though.
It depends. Yeah, depending how obviously Rodgers. You can never bet. Well, you can bet against Rodgers in the postseason. Don't bet against him in the regular season.
They have a good defense, so don't.
They do have a very underrated.
Smith brothers, Rashawn Gary,
Adrian Amos,
The corner, Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage. They got
Darrell
maybe the best corner in
Alexander.
the best corner in football. I almost said
That's
baseball
it,
there.
baseball.
Kevin King hopefully gets replaced by Eric Stokes eventually. Boy, oh boy, he is bad.
They extended that guy.
Yeah.
Who knows? So
depth camp competition. I don't know, but they gave him $4 million, so he's making it.
He's making it. They gave him actual money. Speaking of quarterbacks, from one being just a drama queen to a scandalous QB, let's talk about Deshaun.
I forgot to mention that too. Aaron Rodgers ain't off the hook. The shit he was doing is fucking annoying as shit. The whole media was blowing it up like, dude, you either want to be there or you don't. Like, don't do all this cryptic bullshit of, I don't know where I'm gonna be. We'll have to look and see. Fucking annoying. Aaron Rodgers, like, he's such a good player, but he just gets on my nerves sometimes. Mainly because all the fans are like, well, Aaron Rodgers needs more weapons and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, he has the best receiver in football, maybe a top running back. His tight end emerged pretty much last year. Why didn't the Packers draft another receiver in the first round? Well, the corner was a bigger need for them last season. Who are you going to draft? Like Elijah Moore? I'd probably take Elijah Moore over. I'm biased, but over Eric Stokes. But I'm glad they didn't. But let's get to this other quarterback.
Some quarterback with baggage. Let's talk about Deshaun Watson, who I believe will report at the camp tomorrow for Houston.
He already reported.
He reported. Okay, he did report. I'm so behind. Sometimes I hit today. I go through my Instagram feed, and whatever I see, I'm like, oh, he's there. So it could be from today or it could be from tomorrow. Yesterday. So yeah, Deshaun Watson reports. I don't want to go too deep in the details, but generally, went to court, bunch of cases. We're not going to get into that because one, I don't have it. That's just something I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar. I don't want to talk about it. And the thing with Deshaun Watson too is like what I think is so weird is now that he's reported, so he doesn't get fined, he still wants to leave, and Houston's looking at trade offers. There was rumors that the Eagles were going to go after him, and I'm like, wait, hold up. Does anyone forget this dude has like 25 lawsuits against him?
Yeah.
Like I think people have forgotten. I think the league's forgotten because like he's not on the commissioner's exemptory list. I'm surprised about that. They're going to look into it eventually. Hopefully, the justice is served if he's guilty. If he's not, then hopefully he plays in Houston because it's a punishment for being, But actually, I think Houston, if they need to convince Deshaun Watson to stay, because you tank the whole year, and then you take that number 1 pick, you trade it for a haul, totally replenish that roster, or you take Thibodeau.
You could do that. I mean, again, we're just going to strictly talk about the talent because, again, when he's on the field, that's what we're going to talk about. We're not talking about the off the field stuff. When he's on the field, he is a very, very good quarterback.
Top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, top 5, top 7, depending on where you want to place him.
Probably
he is a. Well, you got my flyer? Yeah, we'll get that in the future. We'll do that down the line. We'll do our rankings down the line.
Yep.
Depending, we'll just call it top 10. It's being top 10.
Top 10, yeah.
Teams are going to want him. And he is going to be a valuable trade chip depending on the lawsuits or not. He is, again, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And a QB team, Denver Broncos, who are that desperate for a
Philly Eagles.
Philly Eagles, no, keep them out of this.
Miami. Tua turns the ball over. Giants.
New York Giants.
Washington.
Bro, imagine if we had Deshaun Watson. Oh, okay, that's the side.
Carolina.
Oh God, Carolina. Just continue to put a bunch of teams out. So obviously we've named a bunch, and we were serious that those could be teams that'd be interested in Deshaun Watson. But again, is he worth the baggage? If you acquire him, and let's say some of these lawsuits are guilty, and maybe you trade, we don't know what the value is. Obviously
round picks. That's kind
exactly.
of the assumption.
They want to get. Are you willing to give up 3 first-round picks for a guy who potentially could be in jail?
Yep. You would be a moron to trade for him before the stuff gets cleared up. That's just, it's irresponsible, but I don't think any team's going to trade. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's going to play this year, honestly, because he doesn't want to play in Houston.
Nope.
What I don't get is if he does play, that they freaking drafted a quarterback this year, which is just a stupid pick. They drafted Davis Mills from Stanford, which makes no sense because he's probably not going to start. It's probably going to be Tyrod Taylor, and you're probably going to put the first overall pick where you're going to draft a quarterback. So you basically just lit that pick on fire and got a backup quarterback. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and we all know the Houston Texans are not a great run organization because Bill O'Brien had control for God knows how long.
And their vice president was a former chaplain for the Patriots, Jack Easterby.
Yeah, that was again, it's definitely an interesting kind of topic we could talk about, but it's not going to be decided until all those court cases and all those lawsuits are done. So it's either the Texans, like you said, they tank because they're not any good if they start Deshaun Watson, or the
Even
guy
if
they
they
drafted.
try, they're tanking. They're just that
Yeah.
bad.
And maybe they do the Jets. Maybe they trade it and get a bunch of draft. I mean, a smart team would trade that. And, obviously, depending on the quarterback, it's Sam Howell out of UNC. Is that the big?
You got what's his name? Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma.
Rattler. Yep. I'm not. I'm there.
Slovis. Yeah. Well, you better start looking into those guys, man. Daniel Jones.
We got Daniel Jones, but we ain't gonna need a quarterback. Trust me. Daniel Jones he's gonna win 11 games this year. He's gonna throw for over 4,000 yards and win MVP.
There's no like Trevor Lawrence in that class though, where it's like going in, this.
And I don't think this is not going to be as deep as obviously
which we're going to talk about this past year's class. Past year's class was freaking incredible, and it has a chance to be great if these guys pan out.
100%. And some guys got into great situations, some not so much.
Yep.
So we'll get to one of our title topics.
Yep. Kind of the main topic. The off seasons for the New York Giants and the New York Jets. Obviously, like I said earlier, you have two teams in kind of two different areas. One, just trying to gather as much talent and build up. They have a nice young new quarterback, get them some weapons, improve their defense. The other, an average quarterback that they continue to add weapons and continue to make their defense better and no offensive line help. Who had the better overall offseason, the New York Giants or the New York Jets? Since you are the guest, I will let you defend your team first. Okay, so the answer is obviously the Jets. And let's actually, before we decide who's better, let's break down. I wrote down all the moves we made, all the major moves that we made.
Did you include draft picks, or you just did strictly free agency?
I'm doing free agency, trades, draft picks. So let's start free agency. Not in any particular order, not based on how, what day they were signing. So wide receiver Corey Davis, edge rusher Carl Lawson. Those are the two big ones, two big money ones. Wide receiver Keelan Cole, safety LaMarcus Joyner, defensive end edge rusher, whatever the hell you want to call it, Vinny Curry, running back Tevin Coleman, defensive tackle Shelton Rankins, offensive guard Dan Feeney, linebacker Gerard Davis, cornerback / not really corner, special teamer Justin Hardy, tight end Tyler Kroft. The trades we made, we traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers. In exchange, we got a 6th-round pick for 2021, and we got a 2nd and a 4th. Great haul here from Joe Douglas in the 2022 draft class. So we're gonna have 2 firsts, 2 seconds. That's freaking huge. Draft. Round 1, we drafted Zach Wilson, number 2. And then quarterback, obviously, Elijah Vera Tucker in the 1st round as well. A guard from USC. Elijah Moore, Ole Miss, round 2, wide receiver. I should probably do it in the order they presented. With this pick, in the 4th round, the Jets drafted Michael Carter, running back, UNC. I won't do that. Then
don't do that.
Round 5, Jamian Sherwood from Auburn, I believe. He's like a linebacker safety hybrid. He's going to play linebacker in this team, though. Michael Carter II from Duke. In the 5th round as well. We had 3 5th-round picks. We made some trades and whatnot. We didn't go in with 3 5th-round picks. Jason Pinnock, corner from Pittsburgh. Hamza Nasruddin, I think this could be a steal in the 6th round. Linebacker, safety, kind of like Sherwood. Brandon Eccles, a corner out of Kentucky, I think. Yep, 6th-round pick. Jonathan Marshall, defensive tackle, Arkansas in the 6th round as well. So those are the moves the Jets made this offseason. Also, some key undrafted free agents. Isaiah Dunn, cornerback. Hamilcar Rashid, an edge rusher, Tristan Hodge, offensive guard, and Kenny Yeboah, a tight end. What did the Giants do this offseason?
Yeah, the Giants obviously added some. They made probably one of the bigger splashes out there. Obviously, starting off with Kenny Galladay, they went out and signed a Dorian Jackson to finally fill their number 2 corner. They brought in a backup running back in Devontae Booker. They brought in Kyle Rudolph, a sure-handed tight end to put next to Butterfingers. John Ross and another additional slot speed receiver, maybe a punt returner. Who knows what the Giants do with John Ross? Fedi Adedebo has said it right this time. Edge rusher from Minnesota. They brought him in. From the draft, obviously, they had the 11th pick, traded with the Chicago Bears to get an extra pick, and they selected Kadarius Toney. 2nd round, they get Azeez Ojulari, like I said, a Georgia outside linebacker edge. At a 3rd round pick, they had Aaron Robinson out of UCF. Ellerson Smith, a outside linebacker from Northern Iowa, and running back Gary Bridgewell out of Arizona. They traded their 7th-round pick to trade up for Bridgewell. Overall, I mean, again, the Giants, added a bunch of talent and added some depth. Got 2 more wide receivers, 3 receivers if you had Kenny Galladay, John Ross, Kenny Galladay, Tony. Yeah, 3. Obviously, they had Kyle Rudolph. They get an extra tight end in that room. A backup running back, which they lost Wayne Gallman. They replaced him with Devontae Booker. I don't love that signing, but whatever. It's a backup running back, and they drafted another guy. So now their room's getting a little.
Went to San Francisco, right?
I believe so. Yeah, he signed with San Francisco. And
probably get him back. He probably won't make it because they have a million running backs.
They do, but they love him. They love their backs and 5 to 7 backs in their system. Yep. So yeah, again, but I guess I'm not counting this as an offseason acquisition because this is like kind of a corny answer. But the Giants do get Saquon Barkley back, and that is kind of an acquisition that you didn't have for more than 5 quarters of football last year. So that is a big.
Jets get C.J. Mosley back. You could say that.
Well, we all kind of, if you watched last week, who the better linebacker is.
Oh,
but because you tackle,
we need to get Andrew the clip.
We got to get.
Y'all saw last week's episode. You know what the clip is?
That clip, I will down. I've watched that full video back. I bet. But yeah, you look at again. Like I've said, the Giants and the Jets are in 2 different situations. Where the Jets, young quarterback, the first year of their young quarterback, like you said with the rookie contract, they have plenty of time to spend money. They added Corey Davis. They add with Jamison Crowder. They added Michael Carter in the backfield. They upgraded their offensive line through the draft with Elijah Vera Tucker. The Giants went more. They needed a second cornerback. They filled the need. They needed a number 1 receiver. They filled it. They brought in a sure-handed tight end for maybe Daniel Jones. He loves throwing them kind of out routes, quick dots. Kyle Rudolph's going to catch those, can move the chains. Again, overall, is it an amazing offseason? I think it's pretty solid. I think everyone seems to grade it pretty well. If you look at the NFL experts, who really cares about ESPN or NFL Network, what their opinions are. But
NFL Network's all right.
Yeah, NFL Network.
Better than ESPN. Yeah. That's for fun.
Oh, I mean, that's just
close.
But yeah, so they brought in some depth. They have had back-to-back pretty good drafts. Hopefully, Aziz. Probably starters are going to be Aziz, Tony, and Robinson. Those guys are going to play a lot for the Giants. And Robinson probably going to battle with Darnay Holmes in the slot. Obviously, like I've said, Aziz Ojulari is probably starting at edge. Logan Ryan's, he's in the safety, but
he's going to have snaps in the nickel though.
He'll have snaps. He's kind of like the Swiss Army knife. And obviously, Kadarius Toney, the gadget for the Giants now makes Sterling Shepard expendable. That's why I say, Chandler Jones would be nice to finish this offseason because, you have Tony now. You have your kind of slot, and you do have Darius Slayton as well, and you have John Ross this year. You kind of have that slot guy, and he's making a lot of money, and you're probably going to cut him at the end of the year next year anyway to clear some cap space. It kind of just makes sense to trade Sterling Shepard for Chandler Jones and a couple of picks.
All right. This is why the Jets had a better offseason than the Giants.
Oh, boy.
They filled more holes, no doubt, but they had more holes. So that's just, if I list how many starters we got versus how many starters you guys had, it's irrelevant because, you guys had, we're a better team. Here's the thing, though. Out of the big guys, free agency is all about spending your money wisely, getting not more the merrier, but you want as a ton of players, the most players possible, very good players. Here's the thing. Was Kenny Galladay a bit of an overpay? I think so. I don't think he's a borderline top 10 receiver. He's getting paid like a top 5 receiver. I know you love him. I know he's a really good player.
He brings the ball and catches it almost as good as DeAndre Hopkins.
Not a good route runner though. Doesn't separate.
I don't care about speed.
So, I mean, would you rather have Corey Davis and Carl Lawson, or would you rather just have Kenny Galladay?
I don't need the Giants' problem is we have 2s. I know the edge rusher's nice. But if Aziz Ojulari is any decent half of what Carl Lawson is, which we don't know if Carl Lawson is that elite edge rusher, he had a good year in his walk year.
Would you rather have Corey Davis, Carl Lawson, and AVT? Because if you're bringing up draft picks.
Again, I think
let's compare the draft first. Who had the better draft?
I think the Jets definitely had it because again they moved away to get EOT. They get Zach Wilson, so I mean that's kind of unfair. You guys
EOT?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a Giants. I'm not a Jets fan. Yeah, 2 Elijahs. I know.
Wait, EOT?
I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said.
Elijah O'Wara.
Oh yeah, Tucker. But yeah, again, the Jets probably obviously won the draft. Obviously, if you get a franchise quarterback, there you go. You already get the big win. But I thought the Tucker pick was great. You say
Elijah Moore is better than Kadarius Toney. We got down the board, but I'm not biased. I'm a Florida fan, so
that's
I love Toney too.
Again, we'll again. It all depends. We can say this. between the lines. That's where that's going to be decided. Who had the better draft? Who's the better players? We could sit here and talk on the microphone, but we really don't do anything.
I don't think we had neither team had a bad offseason. It's not
No.
like comparing the freaking I don't know, like
Eagles to us.
Exactly. Who had an awful offseason? Like the Eagles or the Lions offseason or something like that. Like
both teams got W's. It's just
both teams got W's. It's just the Jets had the better W. So let's move on.
Man. Hey, this is what the show is for. Because you're not going to win many games this year. Hopefully, the Giants win a division.
You kind of not win the division last year because you at least try a winning record first.
Hey, the division decides it all. However that division plays, that's as hard as we got to play.
Oh my God! All right. Well, we'll in the future talk about division predictions.
Oh, that'll be we got to let the preseason get going, and then we'll put our rankings.
Giants third place. Way too early prediction.
Do you not know? Did you just pick Daniel Jones' son over us? Daniel Jones never lost to the Washington football team. Never lost. He's LeVar Ball. Never lost.
They're gonna make him. They're gonna make him see ghosts with that defense this year, and he got a number one corner now. They're gonna be nasty. That defense is gonna be nasty.
Bro, he plays like Tom Brady against Washington. That's the only.
Now the offense with Washington might be very concerning. Ryan Fitzpatrick out there.
Ooh,
you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what you're gonna get from him. But let's move on to the final topic for the day.
And that will be the rookie quarterback. And last week you did say, I don't know if anyone picked up on this, but I definitely picked up on a little hot take you said, saying that Zach Wilson was better than Trevor Lawrence.
You want my pre-draft quarterback rankings?
And you say yours and I'll say mine. So I'll let you go first.
So I looked into the quarterbacks pretty heavy, especially the guys I looked most at were Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, obviously, just because those are the two most likely picks. I've watched everyone, though. Mac Jones I've watched the least, but I've seen him. I watched the Florida-Alabama game. He looked really good that game. I've watched a lot of Trevor Lawrence as well. So I've actually watched guys. I don't just look at stats. I do regurgitate with some people who know more about me that say, I wish I had some all-22. It's hard to get that with college and whatnot. But there's different things I value with quarterbacks. Predominantly, I don't give a fuck about competition level because it's an irrelevant argument. A open window is an open, or a tight window is a tight window. A wide open receiver is a wide open receiver. Doesn't matter if it's Joe Schmo or Schmo Joe. So I hate that argument. For me, I look a lot at the traits, arm talent, athleticism, stuff like that. These are prospects. They're projecting to the next level. Also another thing now that once they've been drafted, we're looking at their situation. That's really important. We're going to project how they're going to play this year. I don't think we're going to get into stats or anything. Maybe we can a little bit, but that's not my thing. I don't know. I don't think that's your thing either.
Numbers.
So my quarterback rankings were number 1, call me biased, Zach Wilson. For me, he has the most arm talent in the draft. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he throws off platform incredibly well. He does all the different arm angles and whatnot. We also saw the throw he made at the pro day, which I know was, it's t-shirt and shorts. I get it. But rolling out to your left, torquing your hips and throwing to the right is just, and people are comparing that to this one play Sam Darnold made when he threw like a little 10-yard pass. It was a great play, no doubt about it. But this guy threw like a 40-yard bomb, absolute dime. So Zach Wilson comes in at, at number 1. Trevor Lawrence comes in at number 2. For me, the whole competition excuse never made sense to me because if the thing with Trevor Lawrence, he plays, he plays better competitions than Zach Wilson, but the ACC, first of all, stinks. He played Notre Dame once. He missed another game against Notre Dame because he got COVID. And they didn't play North Carolina, which is another good team in that conference. The ACC is terrible, and he had such an easy job. Zach Wilson played in like a more pro-style offense. Trevor Lawrence was a college gimmicky, bubble screen for days, fake screens, fake handoffs, all that kind of shit. And I think they're going to be doing that with him in Jacksonville because you got Urban Meyer, a college coach in the NFL, making that transition. So Trevor Lawrence came at me. I know he's great. I'm not the only one who said Zach Wilson's number 1. So did Chris Sims, and he's been pretty freaking right. You got Lamar Jackson right, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. He was right on all those guys. So I trust that guy pretty much more than anyone. Then coming in at 3rd, I have Trey Lance. He has the best raw tools in this draft, no doubt about it. I think he's the fastest, maybe the best runner. I think he has the strongest arm, too. He's an absolute cannon of an arm. The issue with him is he hasn't played much, and when he played, he didn't pass that much. It's a lot of running, a lot of quarterback runs. they played at a lower level competition. Like I said, don't really care about that. Carson Wentz came out of NDSU, and for a little bit, he was looking pretty freaking good. I still think there's a good quarterback inside there, but that's besides the point. This is going to get me some shit. Number 4, I have Mac Jones. I have him over Justin Fields. Mac Jones, to me, plays like an NFL veteran. Like, he goes through he's the smartest quarterback in this draft. He just lacks the physical tools, but he's way better than fucking Tua coming out. A stronger arm, way better in the pocket. Tua tried to extend plays way too much in, when, you can make a little quick twitch in the pocket. That's what I love about Mac Jones. That's why there is those Tom Brady comparisons, because he has that elite pocket presence. And then Justin Fields. My issue with Justin Fields is mechanical things with him. The whole one read thing, I think it's a little bogus because a lot of those offenses, Trevor Lawrence does a lot of one read stuff because that's kind of what his offense asks him to do. My issue with Justin Fields, if you watch him stride, he strides so long, which leads to inaccurate passes. He misses a lot of short to intermediate passes, but he has the best deep ball in the draft. Another issue I have with him is his mechanics, how much he winds up. You watch Zach Wilson, he has a quick release. Justin Fields, you kind of see his elbow pop out, and it's not a quick release. It's not like a Tim Tebow long release, but Zach Wilson's really, that's what I'm so high on him for. Justin Fields, I just worry about, what he's going to be like. I think all these guys can be really good. I think Justin Fields I think Trey Lance has the most likely bust just because you don't really know what you're getting with him. But now going to San Francisco, which I'm also going to rank the situations after Andrew, you rank your quarterbacks. But hopefully I didn't give, I gave decent analysis there. I'm not an expert. I'm a fan, but this is what I see, what I value. So those are my rankings. I know people will biased Jets fan, Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence. My friend says, I told him I liked Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence. He's like, oh, I've lost all, respect for your takes and whatnot. I'm like, what about Chris Sims? How about Chris Sims? He had Zach Wilson one. So the media fucking, you can't say anything bad about Tua or Trevor Lawrence, or they'll call you biased or you're an idiot and stuff like that. So what are your quarterback rankings?
Yeah, I guess you're going to call me a pigeon. I do have T-Law above him.
That's
just because, again, he's
fine.
Again, I think he does have that generational. I've seen somebody be like, "Oh, he's Elway," like. No, I do think I don't think he's that, but I do think he will be a very good NFL quarterback.
He's maybe the safest guy. He has the highest floor. Him and Mac Jones, yeah.
Definitely. Again, it was just, look at the stuff he did. He's won everything. Yes, Clemson, great program.
They were good before he got there. They're going to be good when he leaves. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, BYU.
BYU. Also, again, Clemson's been a better producer of quarterbacks. I think you have Deshaun Watson. They're a safer team to draft a quarterback from. I did have Zach Wilson.
Steve Young. Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, the legend himself. I did have Zach
better
Wilson.
Than Ohio State.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Right. I did have Zach Wilson at 2. I thought Zach Wilson was maybe, again, I think him and Trey Lance are the best boom or bust. I do think there is something with that. There is, again, hasn't signed his contract yet. I have more than one Manziel. I'm kidding. No Manziel comparison. I'm kidding. That is going to be the joke. I'm going to keep bringing it up. Thank you, Colin. Thanks, Colin. But I did like Zach Wilson. I like that his ability to move the play. Even when a busted play, he can make something happen. He doesn't, he's mobile enough.
He's the best platform thrower in the class.
100%. Again, he throws across. He changed his arm slot. I was watching a film breakdown when the Giants were sucking. I thought we'd have a shot at him. I was watching a film breakdown that from 2019 to last year, he changed his arm slot, and his velocity did go up with throwing the football. I know velocity isn't baseball thing; it's more of a baseball thing, but it did improve and it make his accuracy
is important. It's
getting the deep touch.
Whether you want to throw it as hard as you can, get into a tight window, or you need to get over defender's head with touch. That's another thing Zach Wilson, I think, can improve on a little bit. Some of his deep ball touch, it's a little more line drivey, less arc. That's something, I'm not going to say all positive about Zach Wilson because there is some stuff he definitely needs to work on.
Oh, of course, yeah. Not signing a contract would definitely be the biggest one.
Off, man.
Number 3, I did have
Daniel Jones probably signed his contract instantly.
Day one. He's day one.
Because he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so lucky to have this money." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't deserve this."
Bro, I got slot money. I bet, son.
He signed them before. He signed them before they returned him. Before they cut him.
Oh wow, going there. 3, I did have Trey Lance. Again, I think, like you said, he's the biggest boom or bust. He has that potential in there. I do think the athleticism. I could see I won't say Lamar, like he'll be an over like Lamar.
I didn't get my comps for everyone.
Yeah, I'm better with that. I'm not, again, I'm not in total football mode yet. Once I get that, then I do this more player. I do kind of see a Lamar Jackson athletic-wise, but I do think he definitely has a better arm than Lamar
Better
Jackson.
thrower. I think I see a Justin Herbert with Trey Lance.
Arm-wise, yeah. And he takes dubs off the field. If you don't know, he's dating Liv Cowherd, so he gets dubs off
Oh,
the field.
right. That's why
Oh,
Colin Cowherd loves him so much.
loves him so much. Had him at dinner.
Yeah.
Number 4, I did have Justin Fields. Like you said, I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. I just don't. I mean, yeah,
I hate saying, judging the quarter. I judge the prospect, not the school. But when it keeps happening like this, and I know Haskins was different. They're very different players, and
yes,
his was
100%.
a lot of character issues as well.
Yeah.
But like playing in, like I said, in that gimmicky college offense, yeah, it's not Urban Meyer, it's Ryan Day now, but it doesn't always translate. It's a lot. The wide receivers are wide open. They don't have to throw into tight windows. And I think Justin Fields as a prospect is better than all the guys who come out before him. But there is that concern, no doubt about it.
And him going to the Bears is, can be fun.
Yeah, they don't do quarterbacks well either.
No. Matt Nagy.
Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is probably their best quarterback, maybe.
But I think, could he be a pretty solid quarterback? Yes. Do I hope he is? No, because we hold the Bears' future next year. So as a Giants fan, I do hope that he's Joe Burrow. He looks great for 6 games. And then somebody, tackles him low and, just takes him out the rest of the year. And the Giants
you're fucked in the head, dog. I'm just kidding. I was praying for Russell Wilson to get hurt or opt out, because that team is fucked without him.
Oh, that is a Russell Wilson.
Nothing better than holding your the different team's first-round pick. You're just praying for them to lose.
Just pray for them to fall apart. And Mac Jones at 5, I don't see. Yes, he might be the smartest player. But when you're hanging out with Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, you have everything. Smith. Yeah, Devontae Smith. You have did I say Jamar Chase? Who did I say first?
You said Devontae Adams.
Oh, Devontae Smith. Thank you.
Here's the thing, though. He didn't have Jalen Waddle for the whole year.
Yeah.
But also Najee Harris, a good offensive line.
Great offensive line.
Offensive line was not the offensive line Tua had, though.
Yes, that is true.
Mac Jones does throw to tight windows, though. He's not only throwing to wide open receivers, and that's kind of a misconception about him.
I just think his floor is just way too damn low for and yes, he goes to probably ceiling. Ceiling is not low. He's an average quarterback, but he does maybe go to the second best fit to fall in New England, which. You want to do your player comparison, or do you want to go straight?
No, we don't really need to do it. I mean, my Zach Wilson to me is kind of a mix of Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson. Honestly, I see Aaron Rodgers kind of. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be that good. Trey Lance, a bit of Justin Herbert. Justin Fields screams Dak Prescott to me.
Facts. That's a fact.
I think Mac Jones, he could be Matt Ryan. He could be Kirk Cousins on a lower end, Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he'll be better than Garoppolo. I think he'll be a slightly better Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins gets a lot of hate. He's actually a pretty decent quarterback. He's a little physically limited, but I don't think he's as smart of a player as Mac Jones. So I could say like a high-end Matt Ryan, maybe, something like that. Kind of a system quarterback, but, when everything's there, you get an MVP-type player. Also back then, there were no Mahomeses back then, Josh Allen's, these crazy athletic quarterbacks, kind of Rodgers, kind of the only insane athlete back in the day, back in 2016, that was a Goff and Wentz, that was their draft class. So it was a while ago. So also Trevor Lawrence for me, it's tough because, maybe like a Josh Allen, maybe, but he's not that. He's way safer. Athletic. He's way safer than that too. I think he's almost as athletic. He's not that. He's way safer though. He's not the playmaker that Josh Allen is. And I think I said everyone. Let's talk about ranking the situations. So best situation is obviously Trey Lance in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan's borderline quarterback whisperer, gets a ton out of freaking Matt Schaub and Jimmy Garoppolo. It's going to be a change from him. He hasn't had really a athletic runaround quarterback since RG3, and RG3's rookie year was obviously incredible.
Amazing. Yep.
Obviously, it sucks what happened to him with the injuries and whatnot. He had kind of a falling out with the team and whatnot. But I think Trey Lance, also you get an elite run game. You get, good wide receivers, good yards after the catch wide receivers.
Great tight end.
It's not, oh my God, you're a great tight end. Just a great organization overall, too. Really well-run team. Great defense, really good offense. If I get Trent Williams.
They brought him back. So, massive extension. Huge.
Maybe the best tackle in football. So, and you get, it's just the coach. You get Kyle Shanahan, who's just an offensive genius, one of the best offensive minds. If he was an offensive coordinator, he would probably be the best offensive coordinator in the league. So number 2, but it was between the Jets with Zach Wilson and Mac Jones with the Patriots. I'm just going to go with the Patriots just because you know what you're getting. You're getting Josh McDaniels, who's maybe the best offensive coordinator in the league. You're getting Bill Belichick, who is still the best head coach in the league. I see people saying Andy Reid, all stuff. He had one rough year when half his team opted out, and I hate defending him. Half his team opted out. You know, he lost his quarterback. He had Scam Newton, you know, stealing his money because he was bad last year. Scam Newton.
Newton, I like that.
And, you know, Mac Jones, he gets 2 top 10 tight ends. You know, that tight ends are just great for rookie quarterbacks, you know, to be able to just, you know, a safety blanket, they catch the ball. So, and you also get Nelson Aguilar, who's kind of being slept on, man. He had a really good year with the Raiders last year. You also get Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, not that much at wide receiver, but they definitely can improve. And you get a phenomenal offensive line. And I think a potentially elite run game with, you know, Damian Harris, Sonny Michel, guys like that. James White, guys like that. So then after the Patriots, I'm going to go Jets now. You know, there is a lot of unknown, you know, rookie guard, rookie head coach, you know, not a great offensive line. I think it's a good offensive line, especially with the addition of Morgan Moses. You get really good wide receivers, though, and I think the only reason people aren't ranking Zach Wilson's situation high is because it says Jets on it. You know, tight end, you really have nothing there, but I think this is a super slept-on situation. And then I have Chicago with Justin Fields. It's just with Allen Robinson, he's incredible. I know. Is he going to be there next year, though? That's a big question. They just traded Anthony Miller. You got Darnell Mooney. But is Darnell Mooney as good as Corey Davis or Elijah Moore? We'll have to see. Offensive line there is bad. It is. They released Charles Leno. That their offensive line is rough. It's really bad. And they got Tevin Jenkins. That was a steal in my opinion in the second round, but he's moving from right tackle to left tackle, so there could be some transition. You saw Jedrick Wills last year. It took a little bit of time for him to make the move. You're going to see Penei Sewell this year moving from left tackle to right tackle. That should be interesting. Guys moving position. It's not Madden where you just move a guy over and it's all good. So
block the fat guy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Move him to tackle. Whatever. So I still think, and you got a coach and a GM on the hot seat, so the stability there is lacking. Then, obviously, in my opinion, I think this should be obvious. Jacksonville's a horrible situation, in my opinion. You got. Jesus, I thought your baseball takes were bad, bro. Like, come on, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Shad's usuries for joining. The coach, not a fan at all. I think Urban Meyer is going to be a disaster. He's already had issues not knowing how the NFL works. Really, it's weird. He's got a college system, but his offensive coordinator runs more of a pro system. With Darrell Bevel in Detroit last year. He's not fit for the NFL, in my opinion. Being in college that long, it's different. Drafting a third down running back and playing that slot receiver or whatever, your third down running back the first round, just a stupid resources. He has all the power there. I don't believe in Urban Meyer. The offensive line, not that good either. Pretty comparable with the Jets. Wide receivers, you got a little bit there. I get DJ Chark, he's good. Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault. Would I take it over the Jets? No. Would I take it over the Bears? No. The worst wide receiving group out of the group is the Patriots, but they make up with it with their tight ends. It's just the coach, the organization as a whole is kind of a disaster. Let's be honest. If they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, they'd be in London by now.
Dang. Well, again, I think I have a very similar. I think the best landing spot for me is Mac Jones. It's Belichick.
Oh wow.
It's Belichick. I know, yes, the Niners have all the weapons in Shanahan, and that definitely he's number 2. But Belichick's got some. I still, Belichick couldn't fix Cam Newton. Cam Newton sucked. Cam Newton sucked before.
Physically couldn't play anymore.
Exactly.
You see his throwing motion. It's not a X's and O's thing or a schema guy or whatnot. It's not like some smart shit like that. It's physically bad. Yeah. And it's sad. The injuries have taken a toll on him.
And like you said, he's a smart quarterback. Him and Belichick could be best buddies, and who knows what they could do in the AFC East, and who knows, maybe that's Brady Belichick 2.0. We don't know, but I do think he's obviously Josh McDaniels. Greg is a pretty solid offensive coordinator. Again, you had Cam Newton. You're kind of handcuffed to what you really can do because he was physically not ready to play or not able to play as
And
well
don't forget this too. They signed Cam Newton very late into the process, and
Mhm.
no preseason, no OTAs, no mini camp. It's just a shortened training camp, with a new quarterback. And they've done stuff. Tom Brady for so long. It's, I hate defending the Patriots. I know, but I'm speaking as not just a biased Jets fan. Going from Tom Brady, not only is Tom Brady a huge upgrade to Cam Newton, the play style is extraordinarily different. So I still think Josh McDaniels is a great offensive coordinator. He hasn't had success as a head coach in the past. He had, Denver with Tim Tebow, took the Indianapolis job and then just bailed out. I think they're very happy about that though, because they got Frank Reich, who's one of maybe the most underrated head coach in my opinion. Well, we can maybe do a head coach ranking in the future. We'll see. But Frank Reich's literally the quarterback whisperer. Every quarterback he gets on seems to have a bounce back year. That's why I'm kind of high on Carson Wentz this year.
Yeah, 100%.
Phillip Rivers, how bad was he in 2019? Goes to the Colts.
Pretty
turns
average.
It around completely.
Yeah.
He had a good year.
Phillip Rivers type year.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just change the audio real quick.
Now you're good.
Sorry, my audio keeps. I don't know what's going on with my audio. It just starts echoing.
You sound fine on my end. You sound fine on my end.
Yeah, but I know but for you, it just. I guess I don't know what's up with my thing. It starts like echoing and like statically when you talk. So
maybe it's because it's Bluetooth.
Maybe that is it. But so I said Mac Jones just because Mac Jones is more like Tom Brady, so now McDaniels can go back to kind of that system they ran with Tom. Obviously, number 2, Trey Lance with the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, Kittle, Deebo Samuel, plenty of running backs, good offensive line. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk, great weapons, and Shanahan turns anything
open. Yeah,
exactly. He schemes everybody open, and you get George Kittle back. So they lost Jimmy Garoppolo, but now you get Kittle back too. So you gave the kid maybe a future video the second best tight end, maybe number 1 tight end. We'll figure out. We'll do those rankings soon, depending on how you value it. Number 3 for me. The Jets or the Bears. The Bears suck though, but the Jets also suck. But the Jets did get better. I'll give it to Zach. Again.
Woo! Fuck yeah.
But we don't know what this LaFleur system is going to look like. Oh, they bring in Corey Davis. Corey Davis was always
Kyle Shanahan's guy.
Oh boy. Corey Davis they bring in. He's never been a number 1. Now he's going to be the number 1 on the Jets with Jamison Crowder.
Is there necessarily number 1? You spread the ball around.
True.
Hey, if you have more the merrier, you can't cover everyone. Elijah Moore, though, don't forget about him.
Elijah, they did bring in Elijah Moore, like you said, the tight end groups.
Breakout.
Denzel, forget. Yeah, that might. Okay, maybe that might be if they're gonna take Davis out because they're probably gonna scheme Davis and Crowder. Maybe Denzel, maybe a sneaky fantasy you got. Talk about that close.
Watch out for him.
Keelan Cole as well. So again, we don't know what the system this guy's gonna run with the Jets.
Nothing at tight end.
Nothing at tight end.
Chris Herndon is terrible. Tyler Kroft is blocking tight end who's decent in the red zone.
But solid O-line, so that that's already a bonus. You already have a really solid O-line, so he's gonna have time to throw. He's gonna have time to make his progressions. So there's that. The only question is what is Saleh and what the hell is his name? I just said his name. LaFleur going to do in scheme wise, and how easy will he be able to? How easy can they make the transition from college game to the pro game? That'll be decided. The Bears are just a mess. Josh, again, like I said, Justin play good for like 4 weeks. And then you got to get up out of here because, we have your pick. So, show promise, show that you are a very good quarterback. Go off next year. Go win comeback player of the year next year.
Comeback player of the year.
Go do that next year. But, again, you have the best receiver maybe of the 5 teams in Allen Robinson. But, again, like you said, you don't know how long he's –
Definitely.
How long Allen Robinson will be there.
Yeah, exactly.
They drafted about 9 tight ends last year, so you got plenty of options there. Tariq Cohen. Yeah, Cole Kmet. They have
David Montgomery,
and tiny midget
Tariq Cohen
killed the Giants.
They got Darius. Damian Williams from the Chiefs. They also drafted the running back from Virginia Tech, who I really like.
All with the
Khalil Herbert.
Oh, okay. Yep. Dude, you're getting me into football, back into football too. So the Mets are in first place, and you're bringing me back to football way too damn early. But again. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy has been bad. I know he's the head coach, but I think he's prepared to call him plays more offensive minded. Couldn't get Trubisky.
He's the offensive play caller there.
Play caller, okay. So can Nagy give him plays enough? And like I said, the offensive line's bad. It could be worse than the Giants. And the Giants' offensive line is just young. They're hoping. Who was on the Bears' O-line? Didn't they let go of their best guy,
Charles
Gina?
Charles
Leno, yeah. He signed with the
Washington.
Seahawks.
Washington football team. Yep.
So yeah, and then obviously dead last is Jacksonville. I have a soft spot for the Khan family. They created AEW, but God, is that place a freaking disaster? T-Law has to go in there with Tim Tebow at tight end.
Right.
Enough said. That just shows you the situation.
No, Tim Tebow's gonna be Taysom Hill, the Hillback.
Oh God. Oh boy. They have James Robinson, a great undrafted free agent, and they go out and draft the first round running back.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make any. I like DJ Chark. I think he's I think he can have a breakout year with T-Law if he ever has. If T-Law has enough time to develop, make plays develop, DJ Chark can be really nasty, sneaky little fantasy guy. Again, I'm sneaking in the fantasy. That's more my forte.
Fantasy, man.
That's more my forte of football. Yes, I do love it, but that's more my avenue.
I'm surprised I look more at the X's and O's because you played football. I've never played football, so it's like I'm watching the film and it's like
I watch film. I only watch film once draft season. That's off
right.
Season. Yep. Yeah. But again, and Jacksonville is just defensively bad, offensively. T-Law, good luck, my guy, because that's all I really can say about that.
Yep.
So I guess
the thing that pisses me off when the Jets had Trevor Lawrence, the number one pick, should stay in school, say no, pull an Eli Manning, don't go to the Jets. The Jaguars now, no, and crickets, because no one gives a shit. They're irrelevant.
He would have lost either way. If he would have done that, would have pulled the Eli Manning, Jacksonville would have been 0-16 again next year. So it's kind of like Jordan Lawler, like we said at the MLB draft.
Right, yep.
You're just going to get drafted again. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I guess we'll add this. Who is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Will it be a quarterback, or it be a other offensive weapon? Which I don't know. Maybe we'll say that for next week because I think I
think we can talk. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. Way too early off. And when we do it, because we mentioned it, let's at least talk about it. So you got all the quarterbacks. Here's the thing too. I see people saying who's going to win: Justin Fields, Trey Lance. They're not going to fucking start the year. They already have starters in place. Justin Fields is not starting. We already know that.
Andy Dalton, baby.
Andy's our starter.
Andy Dalton, let's go.
QB1. I don't think Trey Lance
games,
start.
Andy.
Now here's the thing. I think Trey Lance should start, and I know people are saying, "Oh well, I think he start week 1 or start at least week 2 or something." Because people are saying, while he doesn't have enough reps, hasn't played in a while. That's why you play him. When he didn't have a season last year. When you finally plays, how long is it going to have been since he last played football? You got to play him. Justin Fields should sit. Mac Jones should play week 1 too. I don't get. He's not like a high upside. Like Tua wasn't a high upside, but it was a medical red shirt. He was hurt.
Yeah.
With Mac Jones, you should start him week 1. Don't waste your time with Cam Newton. He stinks. No. But I think they're going to sit him. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, they're starting week 1. Yep. Maybe Minshew starts for them. We'll see. It's not going to happen, though.
He wants
to.
He wants that job, my guy.
It's not happening, though.
That's what I love about
Urban Meyer came there for Trevor Lawrence, not Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew hopefully gets traded to a decent team. I think he could actually be an okay player. Never going to be great, but I think he can be good. Yep. Like an Andy Dalton. So I'm taking Trey Lance and Justin Fields out of the equation because they're not going to have the snaps to play. Okay. Quarterback, I think it's between Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, but also other positions. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, maybe. But I think Jamar Chase more for the wide receivers in a really good situation with his former college teammate, and he's the best wide receiver in the draft, in my opinion. Him and Waddle are the two best, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Devontae Smith, I just have a bad feeling, especially with this quarterback. Oh,
he's gonna get crushed, and I'm gonna laugh. So I've been very vindictive today. I want Justin Fields. Oh my God, Andrew.
You look at the running backs. Najee Harris has no offensive line. Travis Etienne's gonna be like a platoon back, third down back, whatever. I think it's gonna be a quarterback though. You look at the past couple of years. It's been outside of Saquon Barkley. It's been a quarterback. Who won it in 2017?
It was after Saquon was. It wasn't big.
No, the year before.
No. Year before. Who was in that draft? I don't remember who was in that draft class.
It was Mahomes, Deshaun. Let me look.
I think it was Deshaun tore his ACL.
Oh, was it Kamara?
Yeah, I believe it was Kamara. Yeah, I believe it was Kamara. Don't quote. My laptop's down.
26 was Alvin Kamara.
It was Kamara. Okay.
year before Dak Prescott, and like this is why there's clearly quarterback bias because his teammate
100%.
Ezekiel Elliott might have had the better rookie year, but they're going to give it to the quarterback. The story
Yeah.
too with the 4th round pick taking over. So I'm gonna go get my guy Wilson.
Okay. Well, you did forget one certain individual, one rookie that.
Kadarius Toney.
No. I'm not being biased. I don't know what I'm getting out of him. You forgot Mr. Kyle Pitts.
Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Everybody and their mother.
He should
top
be the favorite.
5 tight end already. Top 5 tight end already.
If you watch him, oh my God, he's special. He is.
Wow,
so
you
good.
forgot the Florida guy. The Florida.
I know. Out of everyone,
shame on
my
you,
guy, dude. Kyle Pitts is just. That's a good point. I think it's between my Z-Dub, Jamar Chase, Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Pitts.
For me, I'm gonna
go Jamar Chase. Actually,
I'm going Jamar Chase. I'm going with my best receiver in the class, even with your favorite quarterback throwing him the football. My boy Jalen Waddle. He is the best receiver in the class. We'll get to that. Maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll do that eventually.
There's another rookie on the Dolphins named Jalen, who I think is going to win defensive rookie of the year.
Jalen Phillips. Yes.
God,
we'll
get to that another day.
That's another day, maybe. So we hit all our topics. What do you guys think? We'll let the viewers in the comment section down below yell about it. Who was the better offseason, the Giants or the Jets?
You guys got any questions? Drop it below.
Drop them below. Leave some topics. Maybe we'll do some future topics for future streams.
We got all sorts of fun stuff. We're going to be doing this every week. Next week, we'll be back on my channel. I need to cook up an intro song, just like the Big Apple Baseball Banter song. That'd be fun. Make it into a catchy kind of song like that. I'm not going to do the same song because that's boring.
Well, of course, yeah.
I'm going to try to get these episodes also up on all your podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever you use.
I looked for it the other day. I saw the baseball show. I'm like, where's the football show?
It wouldn't let me make an account. It gave me some issues. It said try again soon. So it's been a week, so I'll try again soon.
It's all good.
But yeah, we keep doing the shows. This probably isn't ever going to be a call-in show, but maybe we'll see. Probably not though. We might have some other. Yeah, if it's just me, if Andrew has to miss a week, I'll bring out some callers.
Yeah,
talk the whole time. But we'll see.
We'll see.
So I think we're gonna end the show there. Really fun topics we got going. We're gonna open the shows every day with news, training camp updates, injuries, all that.
Preseason reports or preseason starts.
We should probably do a Jets Giants preseason game reaction. That should be fun. I'm actually gonna watch the preseason this year because I want to see Wilson play. Usually I usually don't give a shit about the preseason. No. It's also interesting to see how Salah's game management is, putting guys in, taking guys out. Fucking Adam Gase got one of our best linebackers hurt because he was in there in like the third quarter and tore his ACL. So yeah, Adam Gase, the Jets' new motto, all gas, no break, should be all gas, no Gase. So I'm going to end this show every time and be like, see you guys next time, all gas, no Gase.
No Gase. So yeah, channel, I guess now I get this on my channel, so I get the last shout out. Any other shout outs?
Big Apple Banter Media. Subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys for 100 subscribers too. I very much appreciated.
Now everybody on Mets Weekly got that 100 plateau. Yes, so, a little spring cleaning as always, as I do at every stream. Today is obviously Tuesday. We have this show. Wednesday, don't really have anything planned, barring a trade, obviously, from the Mets. Maybe an MLB The Show stream, maybe a post game, depending on if the Mets win tonight, and if maybe the Mets can go for the win series. No, they play Thursday, right? They play up to Thursday.
Yes.
Mets Weekly.
It's a 5-game series.
5-game series. Yes.
There's doubleheaders.
Yeah. Jesus, 5 games. Just win, Jared Eichhoff. Please. Just be decent. Wednesday, Mets Weekly on my channel. I'm hosting the trade deadline special on Thursday. Yep. There you go. I'll be hosting the trade deadline special.
You'll see me.
You will see Elias. You'll see everybody, and it's going to be a lot of trades because it's on my channel, and I have all the control.
The armchair GM. Andrew is the armchair GM.
100%. And on Friday, I don't know whose channel it's going to be on yet, but we will have a live stream from 12 to the deadline, and a little past, obviously, because trades will be announced after the deadline, but also it'll just be filtered in after the deadline.
Damn, I can't make that. I can't make it. I got work, but maybe I can during break. I can hop on. We'll see.
Again, I don't know if it'll be on my channel or Frank's channel, depending. We haven't really decided yet, but obviously Mets Weekly, any other content, if hoping, the deadline's on Friday, maybe the Mets make a move beforehand. So, any other comments, Elias, before we end it?
Jets are the best offseason. Jets the best team in New York. Gang green, big blue. Go gang green. All gas, no gas, baby. Jets Nation, let's go.
On that note, please sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn notification bells on because you're never going to miss any episode of Meadowland Madness, any episodes of Met Weekly that are on my channel, or just any content of seeing this pretty ugly face talk about sports or play video games. Who knows? So thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.